He moved in with the girl he fell for at a young farmers' convention. They adopted an injured lamb as their first pet together. His co-star was airlifted to hospital after a bull attack that left him with 9 broken ribs and a ruptured spleen. And now, after what fans are calling the most emotional season yet, the show might be over for good, with no announcement of a return. This is everything going on in Reuben Owen's world right now, and there is a lot to catch up on. If you grew up watching Our Yorkshire Farm on Channel 5, then you already know the Owen family. Reuben is the eldest of 9 children born to Amanda and Clive Owen on their 2,000-acre Ravenseat farm in Swaledale, North Yorkshire. He first appeared on screen as a youngster helping his parents with daily farm life, and over the years he became one of the most popular figures on the show. A quiet, hard-working lad who was always more interested in his diggers and machinery than the cameras. When Our Yorkshire Farm ended in 2022, fans feared they had seen the last of him. But Reuben had other plans. He launched his own show, Reuben Owen Life in the Dales, which began on Channel 5 and quickly became a fan favorite in its own right. The series follows his growing plant machinery and groundworks business, set against the stunning backdrop of the Yorkshire Dales, alongside his mates Sonny and Capper, his family, and more recently the woman who has changed his life completely. Before we get to where Reuben is now, we have to talk about where he has been. For a long time, viewers watched him alongside his girlfriend Sarah Dow. The two were childhood sweethearts who had been introduced through a mutual friend. In July 2022, Reuben posted on Instagram to celebrate their 6-month anniversary, writing simply that he could not believe she had put up with him for that long, and fans loved them together. But 20 months later, something changed. In May 2024, Reuben appeared on ITV's Lorraine and broke the news himself. He said that he and Sarah had been together, but that they were no longer an item. He was clear that there was no drama. They remained good friends. She did the odd day of work for his business when she was free, and life moved on. It was a quiet end to a chapter that many fans had followed for years, and it left a lot of people wondering what was next for the young farmer. The answer, it turned out, was already on the horizon. In October 2024, Reuben met Jessica Ellwood at a young farmers' convention. Jess is a farmer herself, working on her parents' Brough Castle farm in Cumbria. A working property home to 400 sheep, 80 dairy cows, 3 horses, 200 cattle, and a handful of cats and dogs. She grew up in farming, just like Reuben, and that shared background is precisely what brought them together. Reuben has spoken about what it was like to finally ask her out. He told OK Magazine that it took him a while to pluck up the courage, and when he finally did, it did not go entirely smoothly. He had lost his wallet that evening, so Jess ended up paying for their first dinner. Hardly the most glamorous start, but the pair clicked instantly. Jess has described how from the very first time they met, there was just something there. A connection that she puts down to the fact they both understand what farming life actually is. And the family approval? Reuben has confirmed that his mom Amanda and Jess get on brilliantly. They talk about sheep together, which in the Owen household is probably the highest compliment possible. By the time Season 3 of Life in the Dales arrived on Channel 5 in May 2026, Reuben and Jess had already taken a huge step. They moved in together at Brough Castle Farm, with Reuben settling into life alongside Jess and her family. He described the gradual process himself in quite possibly the most relatable way imaginable. He said it started with a toothbrush, and then his washing was in the machine, and then his dinner was on the table, and at some point he was just fully in. He added that Jess's family have welcomed him with open arms, and that he loves being able to spend all his time with her. Jess put it more simply. She said he was there all the time anyway, so it just made sense. And then came Fluff. Right in the middle of lambing season, a 3-week-old lamb was born at the farm, and her mother accidentally stood on her leg and broke it. Rather than let the tiny animal struggle, Reuben and Jess took her in. They named her Fluff. She has been sleeping on a blanket inside the house. Reuben has described her as less like a pet and more like their first child, watching her little face light up when she sees Jess, and slowly starting to recognize her own name. It is exactly the kind of moment that makes this show so easy to love. Not everything in Season 3 has been warm and cheerful, however. One of the most gripping moments of the series came when Jess's dad, Dave Ellwood, opened up about a terrifying accident from 15 years ago, one that very nearly cost him his life. The incident came to light in the episode where Dave went to collect a new bull while Reuben and Jess were on holiday in Cyprus. The narrator explained that Dave had every reason to be cautious around a new bull, and then Dave told the story himself. He recalled that the bull ran him into some metal girders and threw him around badly. He was airlifted to hospital in Middlesbrough by air ambulance. The injuries were severe, 9 broken ribs and a ruptured spleen. He spent several days in intensive care, and when asked how he summed it all up, Dave simply said that the bull had made a good job of him. That dry Yorkshire understatement, delivered after describing what was clearly a life-threatening ordeal, is exactly the kind of moment that stays with you. Reuben and Jess were away in Cyprus at the time Dave went to collect the new animal, a detail that makes the story all the more striking, since it was meant to be a surprise for Jess while the couple were on their first holiday abroad together. Season 3 has also carried a much deeper emotional thread than previous series. Reuben's friends and workmates Sonny and Capper have spoken openly this year about their mental health struggles and about personal losses they have experienced. It has given the show a rawness that fans have responded to enormously. That honesty fed directly into one of the most meaningful projects the team has taken on. Sonny and Capper restored a vintage BSA motorbike that had been donated by a family affected by suicide. The bike was auctioned in aid of Andy's Man Club, a men's mental health organization. The restoration raised over £1,400 from the auction alone, contributing to a total fundraising figure of more than £2,500. Reuben used his social media to ask viewers for donations, describing Andy's Man Club as a much-needed charity. It is a side of these young men that viewers did not necessarily see coming, and it has made Season 3 feel like something genuinely important, not just entertaining. Which makes it all the more painful that Season 3 is now over. The finale aired on June 30th, 2026, with Reuben and Jess racing to stock-proof the fences at Brocastle Farm before more than 300 newborn lambs arrived in the fields. Reuben then challenged Dave to a battle of man versus machine. Sonny and Capper attempted to bring a vintage tractor back to life. It was, by all accounts, the kind of finale that leaves you wanting more. And that is exactly the problem. Channel 5 has not confirmed whether Life in the Dales will return for a 4th season. There has been no announcement, no renewal, just silence, and a devoted audience asking the same question over and over again on social media. Fans have been described as gutted, heartbroken, and desperate for news. One viewer wrote that they would be sad on the last episode and begged the team to make another series. Others cannot imagine their Tuesday nights without it. The only glimmer of hope Channel 5 offered was a repeat of a Season 2 episode in the slot the following Tuesday. Hardly the confirmation fans were hoping for. As for Reuben himself, he has made clear that he is not going anywhere. He told the Storm and Alexis talk show that there is no place he would rather be than in the countryside with Jess. He has settled at Brocastle Farm. His business is growing. His brothers Miles and Sid have been getting their sheep shearing qualifications. Life in the Dales is full, busy, and rich. The show just needs Channel 5 to say yes to sharing it. And in the meantime, there are the hints about what comes next. Reuben has said the barn at Brooke Castle could one day be used as a wedding venue. He coyly told the Mirror that he could not possibly say whether there might be a ring under the tree for Jess at Christmas. When asked about children, he was very clear. He does not fancy 9 of them like his parents managed, not 9 at all, but he would not rule out the idea entirely. Whatever comes next for Reuben Owen, one thing is certain. Fans are watching, they are invested, and they very much want Season 4. If you are one of them, drop a comment below and let us know. And make sure you are subscribed so you catch every update.